before that, tough topic. I talked recently to Lara Giddings, the Premier of Tasmania, about her determination to get euthanasia laws through the Parliament in Tasmania. There's no guarantee she'll manage to do it. She's certainly hoping she will. She explained why. Now, on the line is a man who has decided that if these laws come into operation, he will use them. He will take his own life. He suffers from motor neurone disease. A full interview with him, in fact, will be on the project tonight at 7 o'clock on Channel 10, but he's on the line now. James McKay, hello.
Hi, how you going?
I'm okay. How long you been sick?
I was diagnosed the 22nd of August last year.
And what's the impact so far, James?
Basically around all my joints. I've lost all the muscle, my shoulder, elbow, hands, knees, ankles. My feet have shrunk from size 8 to size 7, and I can get away with wearing 32-inch waist jeans now.
And it is, let's explain, it is a degenerative disease, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Over time, all the voluntary muscles in the body will atrophy and waste away.
You're a nurse, eh?
I was a nurse for 12 years. I worked general, psychiatric and palliative.
So you understand well what you're dealing with?
Yeah. And I think, my argument, and I've yet to hear anyone be able to argue against it, is what gives someone else the right to determine how I should suffer.
Is it correct that your father died from the same illness?
Yes. He died in 91. Initially, he was misdiagnosed as having Alzheimer's disease, but he was 6'2", and he'd got down to 40 kilos, and the doctor went, oops, Alzheimer's doesn't do that.
Oh.
So he got a couple of other specialists in, and they made the correct diagnosis of motor neurons about 6 months before he died.
So that awfully means that you know just what you're facing.
Yeah. With this gene in our family, it doesn't just cause motor neurons, it also causes frontal temporal dementia. And my neurologist, he did a lot of tests on me, and he said, your long-term memory is good, but your short-term memory is a bit, So it's early stages, but I don't want to, end up 49, 50 years of age in a dementia unit in a nursing home.
You had initially, I remember reading a report, you had intended to go to Switzerland for euthanasia, correct?
Yeah, I've joined Dignitas, but I haven't gone the whole boat yet. But if they can't get the legislation through in Tasmania, it'll probably be my best option. It'll be about $12,000, but...
So what is your plan with Tasmania?
Well, if the Tasmanian legislation gets through, it just means you have to be there a month before you can access the bill.
Yeah.
So, as a friend said to me, okay, book yourself into the best hotel and spruik it up for a month.
Have you done that?
Not yet, but, we'll find out today. If that does, down the track, I will book myself into the AAA motel in Tassie, and I will have a month of yay!
When have you set a date?
Well, my neurologist and my doctors and that have said probably the end of 2015, things will start to get really ugly. So I'm sort of looking at the end of 2015, sort of November, December would be the time. Or even just a slight bit earlier, because I think, my biggest thing is I value my independence, and once I lose that, I don't want to be a burden to my friends and family.
There's no guarantee the Tasmanian legislation will get through, of course, is there?
No.
But it would make it a lot easier for you, wouldn't it, rather than having to go to Switzerland?
Yeah, But I do like what the Swiss guys say. They recommend you get there a few days early, enjoy the views, the chocolate factories, and let's be honest, the Swiss make the best chocolate.
You've clearly got a good sense of humour. Have you come to terms with all this, or is it a brave face?
No, I've come to terms with it. I mean, life is what it is. And the really funny thing is, the gene in our family is the C9ORF72 gene. They found it out at the end of 2011, but they've tracked it back 1,300 years to a Viking.
Mm.
Now, if he hadn't have got on the boat and waggled his willy through Eastern Europe, this wouldn't have happened.
That's true. But you mightn't be with us. You mightn't be here anyway.
Oh, but if he hadn't have done what he did, it wouldn't have happened. But like I said, having been a nurse for 12 years and worked in all areas of nursing, it gives you the resilience to be able to, come to grips with and just go, okay, this is life.
Well,
all right,
exactly.
my roll of the dice.
So, as a nurse, I'm sure you've dealt with a fair bit of death.
Yes, and I joined the voluntary euthanasia party, and one of the candidates in South Australia, he has severe spinal cancer.
Yeah.
And as he was saying to me, they would get him to rate his pain out of 10, and sometimes it'd be 19.
Ooh.
So he'd be in hospital 3 to 4 days, so medicated on pain relief like morphine and everything, he'd be unconscious. And as he said, where's the quality of life in that when you're in bed, knocked out?
Mm.
You can't interact with friends or family that visit you. You're just completely. So.
Do you intend?
And I think that.
Sorry, go on.
No, I think that's the thing: quality over quantity.
Do you intend to make a noise on the way? I mean, are you going to campaign about this, or are you just going to mention it now and go and do it?
No. I was a spokesperson for the Greens in New South Wales for their Dying with Dignity campaign. But if I end up going over to Switzerland, as a friend said to me, get someone to videotape it and then send it to every politician to say, thank you for your humanity and compassion, forcing me to go halfway around the world to get a dignified death.
Okay. You frightened by all this?
No. Like I said, I think in some ways I was very lucky to have been a nurse, and to have seen what life does. So I just think, oh, well, it is what it is.
Well, look, good luck with it. All the best. I appreciate your time. James McKay.